Okay, so before I jump to the next section, let me show you the digital sky platform where we can see the zones. Okay, so this is the government website, digitalsky.dgca.go.in. Here you can go. Okay, you can scroll down and you can click on airspace map. Okay, so this is our India map. Let me off all the legends and show you a plain map. Okay, this is the map what we see, normal map. Okay, now let's see first the airport red. Okay, you can see here Mumbai. Okay, I'll zoom it. Anything we can take. Let's say maybe we can take some other region. Okay, let's take Shirdi for understanding purpose. Okay, so this is the airport strip or whatever the area what we demark it as the airport. From the airport, 5 kilometers is your airport red. Okay, then from airport red, okay, from 5-kilometer boundary plus 3 kilometers, that is 8 kilometers, is your airport yellow. Okay, then your airport outer yellow, that is from 8 kilometers till 12 kilometers, and then remaining whatever the space is not demarked as either red or yellow is your green zone. Okay, now you can see similarly for Mumbai also. Okay, both airports of Mumbai and Navi Mumbai. Let me off it again. You will see this is Chhatrapati, and then you have another new airport which is coming at New Mumbai. Okay, so airport red, since there are 2 strips and even zoo aerodrome is there, so considering the entire area, they have marked it as a red. Then your airport yellow, okay, with respect to the location. Then airport outer yellow, okay, outer yellow. This out. Now if I click on red zone, okay, see now how the changes. You see there are a lot of small pockets of red zones are there. Let me on the temporary red zone also, if there is any. So Mumbai doesn't have any temporary red zone, is not available anything. But you see there are all small pockets, like even Bhiwandi, some location here, Sanjay Gandhi Reserve, Forest, even your Gateway of India, all those locations are also being marked as red zones. Okay. Even Kalyan, Ambarnath, there are some locations over there which are very critical. Then you can see here Kim. Okay. You can click on this just to see when they are being nominated. So 24th September 2021 to 24th September. So for 3 years, this is being nominated as a red zone. Okay. Even if you see in the sea, sea area, rigs and all those ports are there. But however, now if you see the complete northwest districts, they all are being converted as a red zone now. Okay, this is again a temporary. See, it is 14th May 2025 till 13 June. Okay, till 13 June this is there. So almost for a month, this has been marked as a red zone now, this area. So after maybe 13 June, they will either change or they may extend again further. So this area you are not able to fly the drone indefinitely for the period. Okay, till 13th to 14 June. Now if we see our area, Nasik Airport. Okay, let me remove this. So Nasik Airport is little bit outskirt of Nasik, so it's in nearby Ozar. Okay, so you can see here red zone. yellow zone, outer yellow zone. Okay. But now if you see Nasik, there is a temporary red zone near Nasik also. Okay. So this is another. This is some important zone, and our flying base is here. You see this lake, Vaitarna Lake. You can see your village. Okay, this road you can see here, blue and white line. Okay, so this is the resort we are going to come, and flyover roads. Okay, so this is the nearest village is Zarwad. Okay, Zarwad BK. Okay, so this is the location where we are going to fly. A very beautiful location, surrounded by waters and all. So coming back to red and yellow zone, you can see here also, this is that Tarapur. Tarapur. Right? Atomic energy. Nuclear facility, what we call. Okay, so this is also, now this doesn't have a yellow. It's a complete just a red. Okay, after red there is direct green zone. Clear? On red, yellow, green. Any questions? This is how you need to. So for example, I want to fly in some, see like Pune I was talking about, right? So earlier Pune, Solapur and Ahmednagar, these were only the red zones. If I remove this red zone, these are the only things which were there. So rest everything was green. But now rest complete, this area is completely made as red zone. When this was made? 4th December 2024, and it's made for 3 years. So all the people who are there, 3 RPTOs were there in these locations, are not able to fly or provide training from 4th December 2024. So they applied to Ministry of Civil Aviation and Airport Authority of India that they need to get a special permission for conducting trainings, though it is in red zone. So after considering their request and all the things, they have been given training for approvals for training, though it is in a red zone. Okay, so they have their operations is restricted to their flying base and altitude of 400 feet. Okay, so if I remove this, now you see here there are only like this. The map should have like Jaisalmer Airport, okay, or this Bikaner Airport. These are all red zones earlier. Okay, Batinda, Amritsar, Jalandhar, okay, Jammu, Srinagar. Okay, these were only the pockets of the red zone declared. But now, if you red zone is completely the area. Okay, if I click temporary red zone, let me see if there is any temporary red zone. Let me remove everything. Let me see if there is any. There is no temporary red zone as of now. Not coming, right? I can show you some location near the temple also. You can see it. These are some important locations which have been termed as, like Kanyakumari is there, Kochi is there. Now, since Tirupati is airport is also there, so that his location is also a red zone. So all the important locations with respect to political importance, or maybe due to restricted locations, like it could be airport, it could be refinery, it could be a nuclear testing facility or nuclear research facility, or those kind of things. All those locations are being termed as a red zone. Here, so this is about the digital sky airspace map. So this is actually a UTM, okay, unmanned traffic management system, unmanned traffic management, unmanned aircraft system traffic management. So this is supposed to be the UTM for us, for the drone. So all the drones flying, we should able to see it here, okay, in future. Okay, but as of now, government doesn't want to continue with this platform. They are actually shifting this digital sky platform on a new platform. Okay, that's why there is no update happening apart from airspace and some points. I mean, like UN registration and all those things. Those are only things which are currently managed through this platform. Rest all are stopped or on hold as of now. Okay, on this platform. So this is what we called as digital sky platform. So you can see here type 1 form for your type certificate. Then you have form D2 for your UN number. Okay. Then you have D3 form for your transfer or deregistration. Okay. Then D4 form for applying for remote pilot certificate. Okay. Or D5 form for remote pilot training organization. So all these things were managed through this platform. So we'll see more in detail in the last session or maybe on the day 3 at Igatpuri. Okay, on this. You can also go through this website on your own and you can see all the options. You can see here it is defined the class of the drones. Nano up to 250 grams, micro more than 250 to up to 2 kg, small more than 2 kg to 25 kg, medium 25 kg to 150 kg, and large more than 150 kg, right? So if you want a document about drone rules 21, you have an option over here. You can click here. Okay, it will open a new page. The PDF will open. So this is a 44 page of document. Half of the document is in Hindi. Okay, those people who don't understand English, they can refer to Hindi. Okay, and it starts from here. Okay, so if you see here, so this document was released on 25th of August 2021. Okay, whereas the draft was released in July. I said July, that is 15th July 2021. And 1 month period was given to the people. Okay, whereas the objection suggestion received in respect to the draft rules within the period so specified have been taken into consideration. So they have also documented when the actually draft document was released to the people and 1 month period was given for people to go through it. So from 15th July till 15th August, a 1 month period was given to the people to review and provide suggestions. After that, the amendment was done, and on 25th of August 2021, the drone rules was released. The final drone rules was released, which we called as drone rules. So if you see, the drone rules has, as I said earlier, 12 parts. So part 1 is preliminary. Okay. It talks about the title of the document. Title of the document or this rules is called as Drone Rules 2021. Like how we called Aircraft Rules Aircraft Rules 1937, Aircraft Act 1934. Okay, they shall come into the force on a date of their application in official gazette. That is on 25th of August 2021. This has come into the picture, or this has come into the application. Okay, or in force. Whom these rules are applied? A person owning or possessing, engaged in leasing, operating, transfer, maintaining an unmanned aircraft system in India. An unmanned aircraft system that requires or that registered in India, and all unmanned aircraft systems that are being operated for time being in and over India. So earlier, if you see, these rules are exactly similar to your Aircraft Rules 1937. So you are all person owning, existing, maintaining aircraft system in India. They have just added unmanned aircraft system to India. All unmanned. So all aircraft system that are registered in India. So now they have just put unmanned. Okay. So almost same thing has been taken from the Aircraft Act 1937. They have just been replaced. So and subsequently. Now here, the provision of Aircraft Rules 1937 shall not be applied to the unmanned aircraft system except in case of unmanned aircraft system with maximum all-off weight more than 500 kg. That means your large class of drones has limit up to 500 kilograms. Okay, so large class का जो drones है, उसका above 150 सिर्फ लिखा था ना. So now if you see here it was only up to more than 150, but there is no given outer limit. But if you see the rules, it clearly says till 500 kg. That means your large class of drones are till 500 kg. What happens beyond 500 kg? Beyond 500 kg, since it is unmanned aircraft system, Drone Rules 2021 will be applicable, but even Aircraft Rules 1937 will also be applied. Okay, so the provision of Aircraft Rules 1937 shall not apply to the unmanned aircraft system except in case of unmanned aircraft system with maximum all of weight of more than. So less than 500 grams hai, 500 kilograms hai. So only drone rules 2021 will be applied. More than 500 kg, 500 kilograms, it will be Aircraft Act 1937 along with drone rules 2021 will be applicable. Okay, again the rule number 3, rule number 2 of 3. These rules shall not apply to the unmanned aircraft system belonging to or used by Naval, Military and Air Force of Union of India. That means these rules are not applicable to Navy, Military and Air Force of India. Okay, so they have their own set of agreements and rules. Then we see part 1, rule number 3. Rule number 3 is nothing but definitions. So these are rules. Okay, rule number 1 is about the title or commencement. One says what is the title. Second says when did it came into the force or when it come into the action. Okay, so that is date of publication on official gazettes. What is the application of these rules? Whom they are applied? Okay. Then rule number 3 is definition. So it talks about different definitions. There are 29 definitions. You can go through it. Like what do you mean by accident? What do you mean by aeroplane? Aeroplane means any power driven heavier than aircraft machine delivering support for its flight chiefly from aerodynamic reaction on surface which remains fixed under given conditions of flight. That's the definition of the aeroplane. Now if you see the same definition for the hybrid, okay, again hybrid means what? Heavier than air unmanned aircraft capable of vertical takeoff and landing, which depends principally on power driven lift devices or engine thrust for the lift during the flight regimes and non-rotating airfoil for lift during the horizontal flight. Okay, that is what it is, hybrid. Whereas if you see model aircraft, we talk about model aircraft system, right? This is a subcategory. Subcategory, what it says? Remote piloted aircraft system with all of weight not exceeding 25 kilograms, right? We talk about 25 kg. And it is used only for educational, research, design, testing or recreational purpose only and operated within VLOS, that is visual line of sight. Clear? Now if you see here rotorcraft, okay, rotorcraft means what? Heavier than air aircraft supported by flight by the reaction of the air. See, it is a word reaction of the air on one or more power driven rotors on substantially vertical axis. Okay, whereas aeroplane and your normal hybrid, when they are flying, they are not flying vertically, they are flying horizontally. Whereas your rotorcraft action is substantially on the vertical axis. So all the action happening on the rotorcraft means our drones, quadcopters, okay, quadcopter or hexacopter, the action is always happening vertical direction. Okay, so that is how we call it as rotorcraft. Then there are definitions like what is UIN number, unique identification number. You can go through this once I send you this document. You can download it from the Digital Sky platform also, any given point in time. Okay, then part 2 is classification. This we have seen. Okay, the category classification. Okay, so first rule number 4 is about category and subcategory. So categorization of unmanned aircraft system: aeroplane, rotorcraft and hybrid. Okay, subcategories are RPAS, that is remotely piloted aircraft system, model remotely piloted aircraft system and autonomous unmanned aircraft system. Classification is about the weight. Okay, based on the weight. So unmanned aircraft system shall based on maximum all of weight, MTOW, okay, or maximum all of weight including payload. Okay, so this is including payload. So nano, as we said, weighing less than or equal to 250 gram. Micro is more than 250 grams but less than 2 kg. Small is again 2 kg to 25, medium is 25 to 150, large is up to more than 150 kg. Okay, so you know the large now is up to 500 kg. Above 500 kg, it will be large, but it will also follow the rules of 1937, aircraft rules 1937. Then part number 3 is certification, that is type certifications. So it talks about which form and all, how to apply all the things we have seen in the slides. Okay, these were all converted into slides for easier understanding. Okay, but you can read these documents for more details. Okay, so we saw about the mandatory features, right? No permission, no takeoff, NPNT, real-time tracking, then geofencing capabilities. Okay, every person who owned should apply this. Okay, once this become mandatory, you have to apply them within 6 months of the publications of the notification by the central government. Who is exempted from these permissions? No type certification shall be required for manufacturing or importing unmanned aircraft system. No type certificate shall be required for operating following, that is model remotely piloted aircraft system or nano unmanned aircraft system. Okay, then part 4 is about the registration, that is for UN number. Okay, so again it talks about how to apply for UN number. Okay, so, and then 17 is about transfer, 18 is about deregistration. Okay, then part 5, as I told earlier, part 5 is the most important segment of the drone rules 2021 because it talks about the operations of unmanned aircraft systems, which is very important from a drone pilot perspective. So you should know what is the airspace map, which I showed you on the Digital Sky platform. These are interactive maps, mandatory pre-flight verification for zonal. So in case every time you fly the drone, you have to make sure mandatorily verify the any restrictions on the zonal restrictions on the airspace map. Requirement for prior permission, like no person shall operate an unmanned aircraft system in red or yellow zone without prior permission. Okay, it's very clearly mentioned. For rule number, for green zone, no permission required subject to provision of rule number 21. So that means you have to verify here. If there is any kind of restrictions that particular location, you have to get the approvals. Okay, again it talks about dynamic nature. Then temporary red zone we have seen, like whenever government feels there is need of create a temporary zone, who can declare the temporary zone for how much period. It says that we will intimate you when any temporary red zone is created, but still it says it shall not absolve the remote pilot responsibility to verify the zonal restrictions. That means it is ultimately your responsibility to make sure whether there is any restrictions on the particular location. Then access to the digital sky safe operation. Rule number 26 is again very important. No person shall operate an unmanned aircraft system in manner either directly or indirectly as to endanger the safety and security of any person or property. Okay, this we have seen into the do's and don'ts. Okay, so this is all about do's and don'ts. Then we saw about the prohibition of carriage of arms, ammunition, explosives, and military stores, etc. So drones are being used for this, like for example, high altitude locations like Siachen Glacier and all the things where the supply was initially sent by helicopters. Now they are sending it through drones, but only unless you are authorized to do those activities. If you are not authorized, you cannot carry arms, ammunition, explosive, or military stores using the drone. So there is a complete prohibition. Then again, carriage of dangerous goods. Any other apart from the arms, ammunition, explosive for military stores or military purposes. Anything else which is not allowed as per the aircraft rules 2023 about carriage of dangerous goods. Apart whatever is mentioned in this rule, if you are carrying anything else, you can do, but then not what is been mentioned as a carriage of dangerous goods, whatever it defined. Right of way is another important rule. No person operating unmanned shall violate the right of way of a manned aircraft and shall remain clear of all unmanned aircraft. Again, mandatory responding of the or reporting of the accident within no later than 48 hours on the Digital Sky platform. So you can go here and there is option. They have changed the location, I think. they have removed, I think. Or you can contact here also. Okay, so you can raise a request over here or support here. All the things you can do it. You can write to DGCA also in case you need any help on any information. Okay, these are the UIN numbers. Okay, so these are the UIN numbers for all the registered drones. Okay, so mandatory reporting of accident. Remote pilot license, I said you about part number 6 is about getting the remote pilot license. This is more applicable for us. Even part 7 is applicable to us for remote pilot training organization. So this is just a general statement over here. There is a separate document which we need to follow when we have to apply for RPT. Part 8 is about research, development and testing. So here we have talked about that, like, see, these are the people who don't require to get any kind of type certificate, unique identification number, prior permission, remote pilot license for operating unmanned aircraft system for research, development and testing purposes only. Okay, so any research or development organization, educational institute, startups, any authorized testing entities, unmanned aircraft system manufacturers having goods and service tax identification number, provided that such unmanned aircraft system operation take place within green zone and within the premises of the person where such research, development is testing is being carried out, or within an open area in a green zone under such person's control. Okay, so it has to be any given point in time, it has to belong to some person who is authorized, who has some access or who has control over that location. He only, in that location only, you can conduct research, development and testing of unmanned aircraft system. You can fly that drone without type certification, without UIN number, without remote pilot license or anything like that as such. Okay, that location should be belonging to, but that person who saw it, that person may not be there, right, physically. You have to, like, for example, you may be a test pilot for it. They need to provide a writing, in writing, that yes, this area is being provided to so and so person or so and so entity for testing. But like, for example, even though our flying base is authorized by DGCA, but let's say tomorrow Kedar comes to me as an organization or a person that I want to do some flying of area. So I can give him, provided I give him in writing. Okay, then only he should proceed for his testing. Also, tomorrow if somebody asks him about it, he can always produce that document, say that I have taken the permission from the necessary person who owns this place. Okay, for conducting research, development and testing purposes. Or even tomorrow we are actually going to start a flying zone or flying base where people can bring their own drones and they can fly at our location also, or they can test their drones at our locations also. But every time we do that, we have to give them in a writing for a period, for a location, for a time. All that things we should mention in the document and give it to them, and they should also demand. Without that, they cannot fly at that particular location. If they fly without permission and all the things, and if they are caught, it is not responsibility of myself or the owner of that place. Okay, it will be complete his responsibility. But if I have given a permission, then he is safe because I have authorized him. And then since I am already authorized from DGCA to do a flying at that location, I can give that place for other people to fly also. Okay, because my site is itself is a authorized place for drone flying. If I myself do not have a authorization to fly a drone on that location, I cannot do flying at that location. I cannot give some third person to fly until and unless I am doing it for myself. Okay, if I am an organization, I am the owner of the place, I can do it for myself. But if I want to do it for third place, I have to get that place authorized from DGCA. Okay, then 9th is unmanned aircraft system. This is currently not valid or not applicable because we don't have any UTM. There are, apart from the digital sky space or the airspace what we have, there are a couple of OEMs who have already started working on this requirement. They have started building unmanned aircraft system traffic management. Okay, so this will be available for people. They can also either opt for government airspace or UTM, or they can opt for third party UTM also. It's like the ST, right? ST or BST is government owned services, whereas there could be a different public services like it is Ola, Uber, or Red Bus. These are like what do we say, private platforms where you can book your travel or other things. So there are two types. One is government owned and one is private owned. Insurance, we talked about the provision of Motor Vehicle Act 1988 is applicable to your drone insurance. So it is mandatorily for you to take the third party insurance for your drone. Only nano drone is exempted from taking the third party insurance. You can operate without third party insurance. Okay. Part 11, it talks about unmanned aircraft system promotion. So government is taken a lot of initiatives to promote as much as the unmanned aircraft system promotion. So they have conducting lot of schemes. They are providing lot of subsidies for farmers for adapting and all the thing. They are also giving lot of funding to the people for development of the drones or research and development of the drones and all the things. They are also conducting some events, competitive events. Like last year they started the drone soccer. Now they are talking about starting some flying zones also where you can fly for recreational activities purposes also and all the things. So even at our base also we are going to establish a recreational zone where people can fly drone under the hurdles. Okay, we will be organizing some competitive events over there also. Okay, the central government may evaluate rules based on economic impact, prepare 6-monthly report. So they keep on amending, or they may every 6 months they will review the rules, and accordingly they will make changes as per the promotion and the what we say adoption of the drones. Last is the part 12, that is miscellaneous. Okay, so whatever is left out, all our rules are put here. So rule number 46 is about the fee we talked about, right? D1, D2, D3, D4 all are 100 rupees. Only D5 form is 1000 rupees, that is RPTO, application for RPTO. Direction we saw, power to exempt, offense classification, compounding we saw about. So if you don't follow the rules, these are the things what you will have to follow. Okay, so you will offense classification compounding means you will not get the bill. Okay, as simple as that. Okay, penalties again we talked about, 1 lakh rupees is the minimum penalty, not exceeding rupees 1 lakh in accordance to with the provisions of the section 10A of the act. Power to inspect is the rule number 51. Okay, then rule number 52, obstructions of authorized person. No person shall voluntarily obstruct any person acting in the exercise of the power or in the discharge of the duties under these rules. Cancellation, suspension we talked about. If you do not follow these rules, your authorization, your certification, your license or any kind of approval under these rules can be cancelled or can be suspended. You will be given time to respond back to any kind of cancellation or suspension. If you do not respond within that time frame, it will be permanently cancelled or suspended indefinitely. Okay, and rule number 54 and 55 is basically to safeguard these rules. Okay, so nothing in these rules shall limit or otherwise affect the power of central government with regards to any order issued in the interest of public safety or for safe operations of all manned or unmanned aircraft. So end of the day, central government is a superpower above all these rules. Okay, repealing and saving, that's saying unmanned aircraft system rule 2021 repealed except things done or omitted to be done before such repeal. So in case there are any changes happening to this rule or new rule comes in, till that these rules are applicable. Okay, except or respect things done or omitted to be done before such repeal. Okay, then we have all the 5 forms in detail. Okay, so you have to fill all these forms with respect to your activity, D1, D2, D3, D4 and D5. Clear? So this is all about drone rules 2021. Any questions you have, or we are good to go with the new topic?